Okie dokie. So this video is way overdue. I've had people asking me for it for a long time. But this is my watering system that I put together specifically for the winter. In the non-freezing months, I use a just a gravity feed system. But this one is purely designed to provide unfrozen water for an indefinite period of time. I started out with a 5-gallon bucket and decided I wanted more mass, both for the thermal mass aspect as well as just so that I didn't have to fill it up as often. And so I bought a cooler from a thrift store and used that for a while. And I liked how it was insulated, but I ended up having some problems with leakage and things. So I just decided to go with this 55-gallon drum. I cut off the lid so I could put this stuff inside of it. You can see there's the water pump, which is the blue piece, and then a 250-watt bucket heater. It's thermostatically controlled. It wasn't very expensive, and it's only 250 watts, so it's not like a stock tank heater where it's just cranking the wattage and using a ton of electricity. But our weather the past few days have been in the negatives, getting down to negative 15 at night. I know some people are a lot colder than that, but it seems to not be struggling at all, even with the water level going down pretty far. So I only have to worry about this maybe once every few weeks, and even then I don't really have to worry. I usually fill it up once it's below about a third. So anyway, I just used watering line fittings. This bulkhead fitting was like the most expensive piece out of all of it. So overall, I mean, it's just the cheap black tubing. I didn't bother insulating it just because I don't know. This has been one great big experiment, so I didn't have it completely thought out. It's just been pieced together bit by bit. So as you can see here, I have half-inch PVC with T's and a reducer bushing that fits the 1/8 threaded rabbit nipple. These rabbit nipples, they're not cheap, but they're pretty durable, which is nice. Yeah, so I haven't had any problems with freezing, even being in the negatives Fahrenheit. And I even have it connected over to the chicken coop. The chicken nipples, when it gets this cold, tend to still freeze up a little bit, just because I think they're so far away. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can stick it in it now. Sorry, you can't really see them. There's one. I think partially because of their design, as well as the fact that they're so far from the pipe itself. So I think it may be a little bit better if the chicken nipples were tapped directly into the pipe, but I'm not sure. That's just my suspicion. So again, like I said, it's just been a great big experiment. Yeah, this is a 750 gallon per hour water pump. Wasn't an expensive one, and it has run like a champ. I've had a few times where I was having those leaking issues where the pump ran dry, and it's still running. It didn't ruin it, which is awesome and miraculous. Yeah, it happened a few times. To keep the water somewhat fresh, use apple cider vinegar, and probably as infrequently as possible, I will probably end up putting some bleach in there, just, a couple drops. So super diluted, but just to keep it from getting a funk. And then when it gets warmer, I'll probably clean it out every couple months. Anyway, so yeah, I hope that was informative somewhat. I know a lot of people who are interested in semi-automatic or fully automatic watering systems don't like the idea of having to use electricity, but I tell you what, this is infinitely better than, I'll pay the 10 to 15 extra dollars a month in my electric bill rather than come out every night and collect water bottles. Yeah, so we have a line that runs from the house. We didn't even bury it. It's just basically an extension cord that runs to a little power box over here. I mean, it's not a ton of wattage. It's just enough. And so it's worked amazingly well considering the weather. I mean, in the past, I can't get this right. Gloves and small buttons do not mix. Just in the past couple days, maybe in the past 2 weeks, we've gotten maybe 4 or 5 feet of snow. It's obviously like melted in between, in the interim, but yeah, I hope that was informative and helpful. If you have any suggestions or questions, just comment.